Hi guys! So, welcome back to my channel. As you can see from the title above or below me, this is a Ville Valo Him Join Me in Death inspired makeup tutorial. But other than that, it's really just a greasy, grungy, smoky eye that you could wear on a regular night out. But I was watching some videos, rediscovering some old bands that I loved, and came across this one. So decided to recreate the look because I thought it was really beautiful in the video. So if you want to see how I created this, just keep on watching. Starting now. Okay, so we are going to get this started. This look is really simple, pretty easy. It's not a lot of product. I already have my skin primed with my NYX Honey Do Me Up primer. You know the drill. And then I felt a little dry, so I went ahead and primed my under eye area for concealer with the Smashbox Hydrating Under Eye Primer, which I do find has a little bit of stick, but it also does add a nice layer of hydration so concealers don't look crusty and cakey on top of them. So you could use an eye cream, like a very, very, very thin layer, but this I like because it has the stick. So grabs, you know. Alright, so to start off, I'm just going to prime my eyes with Painterly Paint Pot all over, just to kind of brighten up the lid. I am running dangerously low on this one. That's all slapped on. Now I'm just going to blend that out. Smooth out the edges and the texture overall. Okay, so in the Join Me in Death video, Ville Valo's eye, Ville has like a really, not red or rusty looking, but it does have a little bit of warmth to it, but it's a very like smudgy, smoky, like rust brown or like a rusty mud color. It's hard to describe, so you'll just have to watch the music video to see what I'm talking about. So I'm gonna come in with the NYX Jumbo Pencil in Rust as like another base, and we're just gonna apply that all over the lid, going up to my natural crease. I'm kind of letting the pencil ride the socket. It's gonna be messy, it's gonna be grungy, but then we're gonna clean it up because Ville's look is very clean, and that's actually one thing I really like about it, is that it's a very clean beauty look that's still very like dark and smoky and mysterious. So we want to keep that effect. So I'm just going to take my same 227 that I blended the Painterly Paint Pot out with and just blend out the edges of Rust. And then take my finger for up in here. I'm just pressing, I'm not pulling the color too much because it'll travel on its own when I pick and lift, or when I press and lift. Each time I press down, the color is going to blend out. Okay, so we have a little bit of warmth and some smudginess. Good. So now I'm going to take my Smashbox Cover Shot palette, and this is the Smoky palette, and I'm going to take this second shade here that I just completely gouged out with my nails. Oh my god. But that second shade called Hell Yeah, and that's just going to go over the rust. It makes me so sad. Okay. That mirror sucks. That mirror is terrible. And even though it has some shimmer, I'm just kind of pressing it all over the rust, even those edges, to help kind of set it. And I like the NYX pencils because sometimes they'll give a little bit of a greasy look to something underneath, and it's really what I want for this look. Because Ville's eyes are very, they look kind of greasy, but like in a really pretty, elegant way. And his eyes do kind of have this blown out wing shape. And I just want to take a little bit of headline, that very first shade in the palette, and we're going to kind of lightly dust that over this to give it a little bit more red. And I'm just going to use my same 239. And I don't know if you guys can hear this, but I have my dryer going, and it is literally on the other side of this wall next to me or in front of me. So, you know, domestic. So I'm just going to take a clean blending brush, this is one of the Jeffree Star ones, and just kind of buff over the edges. Don't know if that was caught. I just took a clean blending brush, this is one of the Jeffree Star ones, just to kind of buff over the edges to clean everything up without actually adding a lot more color. And then I couldn't really tell in the video, but I don't think his brow was highlighted with a like luminous shade. So I'm just going to take Feature from the palette, Feature, the lighter one, and just kind of dust that up under my brow. And along the edges of the shadow. And then I wanted to come into the MAC Smoky x9 palette, just because I liked the two darker shades in this a little bit better. I mean, the black is black, but this darker brown up here called Black Factor, I like a little bit better than the other shade that's in here that's not the black, because this one's a lot more gray. This is a little more brown, and in the video his eyes do look like they have a little bit more of like a muddy tone rather than like a clean gray. So I'm just going to take that blending brush from before, and it looks like he has it almost like half lined and then into the crease. I was watching old videos, like just going through like old bands on my iTunes, and I was like, I'm just gonna watch these music videos. And I totally forgot how much I used to really be into the band Him. Back when I was in high school, I was really into Him, Muse, Tsunami Bomb, AFI. I mean, I'm still really into AFI and Tsunami Bomb. That is very much so the scene that I was into. I was the weird goth kid in high school, so, you know. But I didn't tend to listen to a lot of like really heavy goth music or metal or anything. I would say, like, I did listen to Killswitch Engage, and I listened to, I mean, I got into Marilyn later, like when I got into college. And I do quite like his music, but I really like him in interviews. That's actually what really got me into Marilyn Manson, was watching his interviews. Oh, and I was really into Alien Ant Farm. And I actually didn't see them in concert until like 3 or 4 years ago. And I saw them like 4 times in that same year because they came to St. Louis like a lot. So I was like, oh, well, this is cool. I got to meet Dryden once, but I was a little tipsy, so I didn't actually manage to get a photo, and I wish I had. But he was really, really nice. That's good. I think I'm going to take it a little darker. I'm going to take Carbon from the palette, which is just a black, and I'm going to go in with a MAC 214. This is like a little tiny smudger paddle brush. It's pretty thin, but it's very, very dense. And just kind of ride my lash line on the outer corner and press it right in the corner of the eye. And this brush is really nice to get that kind of like instant soft cat eye, because like the shape of it just really places the color where you want it to be. But yeah, I was watching videos and I got to Join Me in Death, and I was like, that look is really pretty. So here we are. Blending brush again, and we're just going to blend the black in so we don't have like a hard line. Just coming back in with the highlight shade. Soften those edges. So before I continue with the eyes, I'm going to go ahead and do my foundation and concealer off camera, and I'll be right back. Alright, foundation is on. In the video, everything is very blown out and the brightness is turned up, just to kind of, I think, make him look a little bit brighter and paler. I like my color, so I went with my regular foundation. So I actually mixed my Studio Water Weight and my Pro Longwear from MAC. This for hydration, this to give a little bit more coverage to the Studio Water Weight, and also I do like to mix these two because this kind of gives this a little bit more wear time. Pro Longwear has been discontinued, but they still make the concealer, so you can mix that, you know, to do that if you want to do that. But to make up for not going paler, I wanted a little bit fuller coverage. Generally, I like somewhere in the medium range, so I just went in and did like 2 little layers of that mixture, and that gave me a pretty full coverage. So now we're gonna finish off the eyes. In the video, he has this really pretty, like, frosty white. So I'm gonna take the same Smoky x9 palette, and I'm gonna take Filament, which is the first shade in the second row. I'm gonna pick that up on a pencil brush, and then I'm gonna spray it with the I Love Revolution fixing spray. I just got this. I got the Peaches and Cream one, and I think it smells really good. And we're just gonna put this in the waterline, or in the tear duct, and a little bit inside the line. And I'm keeping it, it's not coming all the way to my iris, it's coming to about halfway to my iris on this bottom line. 2 little layers of that made that really bright, so I'm really happy with that. Then I'm going to take my Morphe M507, we're going to take Black Factor and then Carbon, and just kind of go all the way across the bottom lash line, just to where we meet the highlight. So it's going to follow and meet the top shadow. And it's going to kind of like be really tight on the inside and then kind of flare out and be a little wider as it gets closer to the outside line. Then I'm just taking the tip of that brush and kind of flaring this out just a little bit more on the corner. There we go. This is going to be a really heavy look, but I love heavy. Back when I started wearing makeup in high school and college, definitely in the grungy goth phase, I didn't do a lot of beauty looks. I did some color, but it was always usually a smoky eye, purple, or just straight black. It was a lot. And I started with like, didn't really do a lot of foundation at first. Maybe a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer, because I've always had really good skin. But as I got more into beauty looks, I was like, the skin could be even more perfect. So I'm going to just take my fluffy Jeffree Star brush and my face powder that I use. This is the NC40 Select Sheer Powder, which, like I said before, I think MAC discontinued, but I have like 3 left, and I'm so... it's my favorite powder, and I really don't want to run out of it. It's a really good, like, if you just want a sheer foundation powder, or you can use it as a setting powder to give a little bit more coverage to whatever you're wearing. So I'm going to have to find something similar because this formula is so good. And then I'm just going to take my 214 from MAC. I know Morphe makes a brush like this as well. I'm going to pick up Carbon from that palette, and this is literally going to go right along the lash line. Now, this is my easiest trick for a really good grungy eye look, or like a rock and roll kind of eye. Anything that you want to have like a little bit more roughness to it. I'm going to use, this is a Mayron eyeliner. These do not wear well. So I'm going to explain. So we're going to put that in the waterline. It's super pigmented, super creamy. It does not have a really good wear time, and it can start to look really greasy on the lid after a while. and in the waterline. But for a look like this, that's kind of what you want. You don't want it to be really neat. So I'm just gonna line my top line, my top lid all the way across. And then I usually just tight line. Because of the shape of my eyes, I just tight line like the inner third, and I'll start the eyeliner kind of meeting that point. And for me, that gives me a really like nice, clean, straight line. You want this line to be kind of glossy and to be a little more worn. The whole look, like I said at the beginning of the video, looks like it's a little more worn and a little greasy. But if you want a liner, if you have an eyeliner that doesn't wear for a long time, you can take an eyeshadow that is of a similar color. So this is black. I would use a black eyeshadow. And you can use like a flat liner brush or an angled brush and kind of press that liner into the shadow into the liner, and that will extend its wear time. That's pretty much it for the eyes. He's not wearing lashes, so I'm gonna go ahead and do the lips first. His lips in the video have like a really bright, pretty vivid peach tone to them and very glossy. So I'm just gonna take the NYX liner in Nectar and just kind of go in and fill in the lip like that. And then I'm just gonna take my Huggable lip balm. This was an old MAC one. This is what I pretty much always use in my videos. It's just a pH adjusting balm. There we go. And for me, this is glossy enough, but you could take like a really sheer or even clear gloss and just go over that if you want like a really glossy lip. So I'm gonna go ahead and do mascara. And I'm just gonna use the MAC Insta Curl Lash. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and do my brows and throw on some hair and be right back to finish this video off. Alright, so look is finished, brows are done. I just used my Fluid Line Brow Gel Cream from MAC and went with my standard red because my darkest wig is currently drying. So, sorry. Exciting news on the wig front though. I got crocodile clips. So no more using my lash applicator to secure this. But yeah, that is it for this Ville Valo Him Join Me in Death inspired makeup look. You can definitely wear this as a regular night out. I enjoy it. Let me know what you guys think down below, and if you have any requests for what you would like to see, or if there's anything you'd like me to review, let me know down below. Until then, ciao!